incompatibility, you mean to say, could be a reason? Well, I'd like to throw that to Dr. Desai.
Let's face it, sexual incompatibility or the issues of sexual mismatch in the initial part or later part does not essentially form a large part of the reasons for divorce. In any culture, and certainly our culture, that's not one of the major issues. So while nobody can deny the critical aspect of sexual relationship in a marital unit, let's face it, that's not one of the major issues. There's a whole lot more than that, about personality, about adjustment, about families. So that's one thing that we need to realize.
Now, Rajalakshmi, I'd like to ask you here is that we all see, as we all, grow up and we study different subjects, do you think that in colleges there should be something introduced wherein, some interpersonal skills, not only in terms of getting a job, but also how to really go about having and nurturing families because later on everybody is going to go and do that, at least 8 out of 10 people. So do you think something like that would help?
Yeah, actually as a teacher of sociology or as a student of sociology, we have also seen a change in our own syllabus. Till last year we never had anything related to gender, but this year definitely we have, where we are trying to tell the students to understand the difference between sex and gender, and also see that how the whole process has started and how actually one looks at women and men in the society. So the basic now the basic understanding which everybody understands is that yes, we must look at ourselves as individuals where both of us can face the same thing equally, both of us can have the same impact for anything similarly. Till date the whole understanding was that women are neglected, women are exploited, there is inequality in the society. But definitely now the whole understanding is changing. New concepts have come up in the syllabus. Of course, there are very few batches which are now actually, understanding it. But hopefully in next few years to come, the students will be able to now talk openly about their
very concrete idea being implemented already by various agencies for last 10 years or more. Something called life skills education, or the alternative term is family life education, where the focus is exactly what you were asking Rajalakshmi about. Helping young boys and girls to understand what it means to be married, what the responsibilities are, what the expectations. It's beyond gender sensitization. It's a lot more beyond gender sensitization. The focus is on the unit that you're going to form.
That's right. That's right. Well, now we have Mr. T.N. Mishra waiting. He's in Chandigarh. Well, Mr. Mishra, if you can hear me, what's your question?
हेलो,
Yes, please go ahead.
मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ, जैसे ये कि फैमिली में कोई डिस्प्यूट होता है और डिस्प्यूट होने बाद 498 धारा दायर कर देती है कोई लेडी, और लेडी दायर करने के बाद में उसमें फिर डाइवोर्स का केस आ जाता है, तो डाइवोर्स लेटर लगाता है तो मुकदमा ये वापस हो जाना चाहिए, वो नहीं हो रहा है
मुकदमा.
I think here's a point. Basically, what Swaroop has been saying earlier.
Okay, I think yes. So, Swaroop, would you like to comment on that?
See, as we say, okay, anybody can happen an accident. Now the problem, what has happened, it can be man or woman. Now our judiciary, our lawmaker, our policy makers treat them like long. So the pain, suffering, depressions is increased and multiplied by 10 times, 15 times. Frankly speaking, I am telling.
So you're saying that these kind of judgments should be time bound?
At least time bound,
yes.
Or also about the say in other US and UK. See, the more pupils will have the choice to lead their life by own, such type of differences will come and we have to accept it. Then the problem comes in child. As ma'am says and everybody says, what we also seen, as a divorced man, as a divorced woman, society has already taken them in open heart. But ma'am, still, those child are coming up. Still there is a stamina. Oh, you are from a divorced mom, your mom got divorced. So there is a community shift. So to overcome that, we already proposed and we are trying to convince judges also, go for the shared parenting. Because I was saying, even Dawood Ibrahim also will not refuse to support his child. And for a normal guy, you are not giving the access of a child. So, and it is not the right of a husband or wife. It is the right of the child. To get the access of the both parents. So I think the immediate action is required, share parenting. Second thing is, as maximum people you will face, it is a man or woman, family disputes should be resolved in friendly way, decriminalize, and with a time, okay, 6 months, maximum 2 years. And if you do that, I am sure about 50 to 60% of the disputes will be resolved, and you can reduce the impact of that. And if at all divorce happen, it will be a friendly only. At least they can see each other face.
Right.
But today what happened? After this 10, 12 litigation, if somebody see each other face, nobody will unknown. It should not be like that.
I think that's a very important message, loud and clear, that needs to go to our audience today, if you all agree, that as far as possible, one, recognize that if the marriage is not working,
That's
it's
exactly
not your
what I was
fault,
coming to.
you know, say, do something about it, go for help, ask elders, go for professional help, A. B, in case it's not working, begin looking for alternatives. There is no shame about it. You know, accept it. C, very importantly, really don't consider the legal option as the immediate one. I mean, counseling, you know, or other such peer groups or other such friendly therapeutic atmosphere can be so much better. As a psychiatrist, I'll share this with you, Lottie. As a psychiatrist, I would rarely give directives to my clients. But one of the situations where I have no hesitation personally and professionally to advise is to say, if you can avoid contested divorce petitions, please avoid it. One of the most harrowing experiences I learned from professional and social interaction, one of the most harrowing experiences that people can have is those, you know, extended divorce petitions where you keep throwing mud at each other. So the whole thing of, okay, put it differently, a paradigm shift for handling divorce from the legal criminalization issue paradigm to a more therapeutic, you know, family-based issue, which can be handled in helping settings.
I think you really put it up beautifully, you know, that instead of actually just going to a court of law, first people should try and, you know, take a look at solutions which can be done amicably.
There's also what we have been all hinting at, and maybe we need to say this, across acts, there is a need for providing for misuse for penalty. I mean, penalty for misuse of that act. Dowry Act, Domestic Violence Act, Sexual Harassment Act. You know, these are the acts which tend to get misused ex proportion, and these laws, as of now, see, as they have been evolved, they have been so pro-women that they do not even have the provision for what will happen if somebody misuses, right?
Doesn't get afraid.
So it's being recognized in many platforms by now that Domestic Violence Act, the Anti-Dowry Act, the Sexual Harassment at Workplace Act, all of this require provisions for what will be the penalty if somebody misuses.
That's right. Well, at that point, I'll have to say that we have to call it a day as we are running short of time. So thank you so much, all three of you, for taking time out and discussing this very imperative issue with me as well as with my viewers. Well, people under normal circumstances, men do prefer to cherish their family and marriage. In fact, it is relatively rare for men to initiate divorce proceedings. As per a recent research, 66% of times it is women who initiate a divorce, while for men this figure stands at a comparatively low level of 41%. Still, it cannot be said that men are not prone to divorce. Many a time, certain peculiar circumstances in a marriage may induce a man to seek divorce from his wife. Whatever the reason, divorce may not always be amicable. And certainly not in all cases are men to be blamed. Just as women need all sympathy, men should not be treated any differently. It becomes all the more important to offer help to the divorced men, as they may be the only breadwinners for the family and could get just as hurt and lonely. Emotional support can go a long way in healing those scars. So let us treat both men and women on an equal level. After all, we need both happy men and happy women to have a complete happy society. With that, it's a wrap of today's gender discourse. Join me next week when we will be focusing our attention on the girl child. Till then, this is Lottie Alaric saying goodbye and take very good care of yourselves.